We got a bunch of things in the pipeline now because we took a month off and now we're back. And
that month flew by.
Yeah, a month really did fly by. I thought I had way more time than I did.
Yeah, but just like you were saying earlier, now that there's overhead and rent that you have to be responsible for, and this is without, and we'll have some employees as well, but they'll be 1099s. It's like you have that much more respect for other small business owners.
Yeah,
everyone's just trying to get their own and just trying to eat, and you just probably get a small percentage of whatever comes your way.
Yep.
But it's I think it's a very romantic view. This reminds me of canoes, but romantic view to follow your passion, right? And no matter what you end up doing, there will be very happy high times and then very difficult low times. But I think if you are working towards something that you genuinely enjoy, that'll help you get through.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to episode 19 of the Sultan of Slow Drip. I'm your host, the Sultan of Slow Drip, joined by Victor Chan, who is back.
Yeah, we've missed you all.
Yeah, so you were in Hawaii for a while.
We were in Hawaii for 7 days and then 2 days in LA. A lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces.
Nice.
We were primarily there for our friends Jason and Beth's wedding, but we got to do everything we wanted to do, from all the hikes to breweries to... We did 4 coffee farms.
Oh, nice.
And then in LA, more breweries, caught up with more friends, and then Logan.
You went to see Logan, and how's he doing?
Logan. He could not be any more like buzzing. Like he's just he's busy, he's hustling. But like when we were there, he had he grew up in that area, Simi Valley.
Gotcha.
And he just had friends over, and it's just like
Were they barbecuing? Were they smoking some meat? Like what were they doing?
So we shared some of his brisket and stuff. But he was like, "What do you want?" And because they weren't open for the day, but he made us smash burgers, and we tried the brisket, and then soon after that he went to, I think he's back now, but they did a food and wine festival in Steamboat, Colorado. So he's just busy people.
That's nice. That's great to hear.
He said someone came all the way from Oregon to try his barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, someone he's never met before.
Would they get a dino bone? You know what they got?
That's a popular one.
Yeah,
burnt ends, dino bones.
Those are like so crazy looking. Like,
but I think, I don't know if he wants me sharing this, but he's like, I'm kind of sick of barbecue.
Oh, really?
We're just like, it's just you.
Has he mastered it? Is that what it is, or?
I guess you're around it so much that you just want other things. I mean, it's not like there's so much other food out there too.
Okay.
Right, but he's still killing it regardless. Okay. And he couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy that you guys were able to link up, and I definitely want to get out there and see him. Like, man, like super jealous. Like,
yeah, he's in a sweet spot. Simi Valley is an interesting place. He's like, I'm surprised no one has called you a gook yet or something like that. And it's a super conservative area, but. I personally didn't experience any of that, but regardless, if you make it down to California, like supposedly it's hard to find good barbecue in California, and he's killing it. He is acquiring his 3rd smoker, and it's like the largest smoker he's out of all 3.
Awesome.
But he still has the first one that he had in the backyard.
Yeah, the one that we had barbecue
on our episode, and it's in his backyard.
Cool. Yeah, let's link him up. Zeph Barbecue on Instagram. Let's link him up in the episode. And yeah, if you're in the Simi Valley area or thinking about visiting, definitely hit him up. Like he's legit. Like just his art of smoking is just like incredible.
Such a down to earth guy. And for anyone curious, again, because our episode was the first 3-hour episode we ever had. It's just in Logan's backyard. We were in, I think, Logan Square, or was it Lakeview?
Ravenswood.
Ravenswood, yeah. And you can hear like the insects in the background, the cicadas in the background. You can hear like the planes overhead, the ambulances drive by.
Yeah, it was a really good episode.
It was just real low key. And I think he originally came on because he had experience in hospitality and maybe a Michelin star restaurant. Right. And he was selling his smoked meats through an app called Schmeal and all that. But there's so much more to him than that, right? So. And he's just one of those stories through the pandemic that kind of bloomed and blossomed.
Yeah, into and
his,
just like took off big time. Like he's been on TV and
been on TV. That was another thing that put him on the map as well. But that's the thing. It's like we're all waiting for that like takeoff moment, right? But while you're waiting, just continue keeping your head down and cultivating your skill set. So then when your time or opportunity comes, you'll be ready, right? Because like, what if that opportunity comes and you're not ready?
Yeah.
And I've personally felt that recently, but
it's tough when it happens.
So prepare for it. It's a lot of what happens in life, like, is due to preparation. Right? Are you ready for it?
For real, yeah. And nothing kind of stinks more than having an opportunity just kind of pass by, and you're just like, oh man, if I just put a little bit extra into it, I would have been ready for it.
Yeah.
And like, you're just like, dang. But what's worse than that is having that and then not learning from it and then letting the next one pass you by.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Because, we've all missed out on things. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day where I had a lot of moments where I was trying to do different things from my coffee game.
Okay.
Like I tried to teach in Japan. I tried to do all different types of jobs. And I got rejected a lot. And, I remember taking a 2-hour train ride to go for a English teaching interview in Japan, and I didn't get the job.
Wow.
And, and I actually applied for that job, like flying from America and everything. Like I was there visiting her as well. Okay. But I was like, we were trying to figure out our long distance relationship and everything. And I was like, let me try to get a job in Japan and move there. And, so a lot kind of riding on this. And it didn't go over well. I mean, the interview went well, but in terms of like, I was able to speak Japanese to them and all that, and communicate and stuff, but they didn't choose me. And that kind of made me feel a little dejected. But at the same time, if that happened, I think I'd probably be kind of wrapped up in a different world than what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
So being able to see what your actual worth is to yourself and how you can kind of make that blossom better. Because this was a hobby. It started off as a hobby, and then I was just like, I had the for lack of a better word, the balls to actually try to turn it into a business because I just loved it so much. And that's like, speaking to just the preparation thing, where it's like, if you find something to pour yourself into, you can really make a lot out of that, even if it's not immediately obvious.
Yeah. Yep. I've been trying to just consume as much of this guy through audio form. He had a tweet storm on Twitter a while ago about just like principles to life, and I first heard him on the Tim Ferriss show as well as Joe Rogan, but his name is Naval Ravikant.
Oh yeah, I've heard him. Yeah.
So he's like a tech investor and things like that. But he's just like overall, like he's so eloquent. And the one quote I'm thinking of just now is just, and I wrote it in my last post, but it's to be impatient with your actions and to be patient with your results. And so inspiration is fleeting. So when it does come, run with it. And when you got to do something, do it immediately. Don't sit on it. But because of external factors and other things, like results don't immediately come. So just remind yourself to be patient. Yeah. And just keep working towards a goal.
Yeah, that reminds me of this saying where it's like you have to be impatiently patient and not patiently impatient.
It's also like life is a marathon of sprints.
It is.
Right?
It is. Yeah, that's what we tell people in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's because people get obsessed about getting their black belt and everything.
It's like everything's so small world like right now. Like it feels like a small world. Just having the pleasure to meet Hoist Gracie the other night.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
After within 20 minutes, you could taste the humidity in the room just from everyone just putting their all and just rolling and but as a teacher, as a human, like I can see and even feel the reverence and the respect that people had in the room for him.
I mean, he's the first UFC champion, the pioneer, and without Hoist doing what he did, I don't know if jiu-jitsu becomes what it,
Right,
he
what
proved
it
it. He proved it to the world. So
Yep.
Yeah. All the way back in 1992, I think it was his.
Yeah, early 90s. Yeah. And then 2 and 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So huge debt of gratitude to him. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 10 years now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and he's very, very well respected. So I want to pivot to your Hawaii trip, and actually before we do that, because I just want to get the rundown. I haven't seen you since you've been back.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, I didn't hug you.
On camera hug.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh,
I haven't seen you since you came back.
Yeah,
so.
the tan is already fading.
Yeah, it's fading.
I'm still peeling.
Yeah.
I rarely use sunblock, and I actually, for the first time, like experienced sunburn.
Oh, how was that?
And it hurt.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. I got sunburn for the first time in Vegas in August, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't burn usually.
Yeah, I usually don't burn.
It's different. Like
it sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
And then in addition to that, our our like mattress at the Airbnb was super. It was like a water. It wasn't a waterbed, but you sunk in like a waterbed.
So you had back pain, like.
So I had like neck pain, and Justine was gracious enough to schedule like a last minute couples massage, and that helped a lot. And then Jason, who got married, his brother is an acupuncturist. And he did some acupuncture.
Nice.
During the reception party at their mom's house. That was my first acupuncture treatment, and it did help. It did help. I was kept an open mind. So grateful for everyone that was there. So I saw a lot of familiar faces, met a lot of new people, but it was like a small wedding party, 20 people. And that was our primary reason for being there. But Justine's first time, my third time, we got to do everything we wanted to do.
So what city were you guys in?
We were on the Big Island, specifically the Kona side. The highlight is spending time with good people. But we got to share the tour at Ulu with Jason and Beth.
Yeah. We actually have some Ulu coffee.
Coffee. So for those that have listened to our previous episodes, we've mentioned Ulu a few times, and the owner Phil, he is by trade or day job is a malpractice attorney, and his office is above Printers Row Wine Shop, where I get some of the best beer in the city from Hop Butcher, and his mom, who passed. Has a home in Kona, and he bought the home and stumbled upon a tree with a cherry on it. He's like, "What is this?" And started asking neighbors about it, and then now he's got a farm.
That's awesome.
With a variety of different fruits and veggies, from avocado, papaya, pineapple, ginger, macadamia nut trees, all that stuff, lilikoi, and he's like, "Oh, it's super muddy. It was kind of rainy." And he's like, "We recommend, not wearing your shoes because it'll get super muddy." And it's just like something about being, shoeless or just barefoot, just like connected you to Mother Nature and the earth, and it's very grounding. And it was definitely one of the highlights of our trip to have Phil, the owner, share his time with us, because you can't find their tour online. It's not
really?
They don't sell anything. It's his home.
You just show up and like if they have time, they have time.
Yeah, it's like it is a farm, but it's also his home, right?
Yeah.
So you let them know, and I'm sure they're more than happy to accommodate. But as a business owner, you realize how busy it is to run a business,
right?
And to have him share his time with us was cool.
That's awesome.
We were grateful.
You say you did 4 tours total, like
different
places? You went to Greenwell. Thanks for bringing this back for me, by the way.
Yeah. We've been to Greenwell a few times. Always a standard. We just finished the first bag. It was like the chocolate macadamia nut from them. It's very good. I don't remember. I'm sure there's a story on the back regarding this batch called Jenny K. We also went to Mountain Thunder. So driving up to Mountain Thunder, it reminded me, for those that have been to Kauai, very green, very luscious, very humid. And so even like there's probably a difference between Mountain Thunder coffee and Greenwell coffee as far as elevation and the way they dry their coffees. Like Greenwell, they let it sit out.
So they sun dry it?
Whereas they sun dry it. I think they're on a different part of elevation.
Okay.
And Mountain Thunder, because they don't get as much sun as Greenwell, they don't. They
have a drying room?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, even within the same island, it's like there are differences between all that.
Okay.
And then Ulu, I didn't really see too much of their process. I think they outsource it to someone else.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
they ship it to get roasted here.
Yeah.
Chicago.
So it's roasted in Chicago.
That's what makes Ulu kind of special.
That's very unusual to have a 100% Kona coffee roasted. In Chicago. Yeah. That's pretty unusual. We're gonna try a little bit. I made some.
So this is the
Kyoto.
Ulu
Yeah,
batch.
this is the Ulu that you gave me.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I snuck a little taste of it earlier.
I've never had it from Kyoto.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be curious to see what you think about it compared to drinking it. What did you have it hot, most likely? Okay.
Yeah, drip. Wow. Cherry, or like that stone, like a
cherry is a stone fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, that stone fruit. Like it's very berry to me. Like stone fruit and berry.
I get like a little bit of like almost plum.
Okay.
And
there's like a tartness.
There's a tartness. Yeah, that for me, that's the plum. I also get like a little bit of like licorice from it.
Okay. Yeah, on that swig. Kind of like a bitterness.
Just like a herbal quality to it, like very herbaceous.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It's very like silky. The mouth.
The mouth feels good. Yeah.
It's very silky and like kind of juicy. A little bit of like dark caramel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Kyoto Method does that to a lot of the coffees. It brings out out from the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, one thing that's kind of interesting though is because people say cold brew doesn't have acidity, but like clearly it does. Like you can taste the acidity very much. I just think that the kind of traditional steeped coffees, they lack acidity, but Kyoto style, it perfectly profiles the coffee. Like it's essentially a pour over that's just done cold. So you get all the nuance. You get, I'll debate this till my dying breath. I think Kyoto style is one of the upper echelon ways of doing coffee.
Yeah.
You just get such a nuanced expression of the coffee.
Yeah.
And you can even tweak it to just kind of emphasize certain qualities, like the experiment we did on the episode with Jake where we did the thirds of coffee. That's something that you can't do with
because it's all
regular
immersed,
steep. It's all immersed, so it gives you so many things to play with, and I think it's really underappreciated.
Which that reminds me of, the steeping reminds me of tea. So Noel from Side Practice was running through like a tea thing with us, and he's like, with like one green tea, he just said 45 minutes. So like you steep, drink, do it again.
Right.
And you can just do that for 45 minutes. So that's cool. I mean, you just get different version of the same tea.
And you can even stack those too. I have a little bit of experience with doing tea infusions where you basically do your first cup, your second cup, your third cup, but you can also like brew for, let's say, a minute, right? Using lower temperature water, quite less than boiling, maybe like 175 degree water. You infuse that and you pour it into a vessel, and then you do another infusion right on top of that. Using the tea leaves that have already been expressed, that have already extracted, and you do like a 30-second, and then you pour that in there, and you just layer those. So ultimately, you would end up with the same sort of ending volume, but you've separated them out because it's the same sort of idea that each addition of fresh water gives that water more extraction potential.
Does it? It does?
It does, because it's less saturated. Think about if you had like a super concentrated
it doesn't pull more out. It doesn't pull more out.
Osmosis.
I wonder. Oh, okay.
Osmosis.
That makes sense.
So it's just the nature of using fresh water has more pull. Yeah.
Osmosis.
So, yep.
Science.
Yep. I mean, to an extent, like if you try to do that with coffee, like imagine using Kyoto to brew coffee, like running Kyoto through grounds, fresh grounds. You're gonna end up putting a bunch of coffee back on the grounds.
Oh, coffee to brew coffee?
Yeah, using coffee to brew coffee. We were talking about you, Jake.
I was like, Jake's done that. He doesn't do it anymore, but Jake's done
he
that.
better not. But
you learn, from it.
I mean, it's a good experiment to run just to, get familiar with these things. But that's why Kyoto is so awesome, is because it's always adding fresh water and allowing the
you see the drips get clear.
You see them get clear. Exactly. It gets phased out.
It's an objective way to measure when you've extracted all the coffee.
Yeah. And that adding the fresh water is in fact, you can do Kyoto style tea. You can put tea in the Kyoto style, and it gets the same sort of intensity, the same sort of profiling.
Could you tell though, because especially if it's a lighter tea, could you tell that if the drips are like, because if it's one drop, it's like, isn't it super light anyway, like super clear?
Well, the tea will have a different viscosity, so the color may not give the indication.
Okay.
But you can watch that stream and how stuck together it is, how it buckles
as it like swirls down.
As it swirls down, but also as it drips out the bottom.
Oh.
That water will stick to itself. That tea will stick to itself in a different way from pure water. And it's got kind of like a kind of rubbery appearance to it. Like it looks like more elastic.
You've tried this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It looks more elastic, and you can just kind of judge based on that too, like just the visual of concentration. But it also has a difference in color too.
Gotcha.
Unless you're using like a white tea, which typically is like, just really, really light. But if you're using like an oolong or, black tea or even a green tea, you can tell. The thing about green tea though is the grassiness, because you're extracting so efficiently. The grassiness really becomes very pronounced. So I typically don't like to do it
through
with
Kyoto.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like oolong's incredible.
Yeah, because
Black
it's already
teas,
very subtle. So Kyoto, I'm sure, maybe brings a lot more out of it.
It with some of those oolongs, the fruit note, like the some of them have like a papaya, like a very tropical.
When we were tasting, he was like, "This is very sweet," and I'm like, "It is." So it was like very subtle to me. And like you were saying, like I'm sure the Kyoto can even heighten that even more. But yeah, he even then he's like, "This is very." So I'm like, "Is it?"
Yeah, I'm very interested to talk to him about tea.
Yeah, I hope it happens.
Yeah, he can walk us through maybe a little cupping or anything.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, aside from that, any other things in Hawaii that like you kind of want? This has turned into me interviewing you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'm just like.
Well, I went. So the first stop after we landed, to grab coffee or something, and we went to the place that Jake and I went to where we first discovered Kyoto. They have like these, I think 3 or 4 giant, like bigger than Jake's second set, giant Kyoto setups, and Jake and I were like, "What the hell is that?" And he tried it. He was like, "This is the best cold brew I've ever had."
Is that what got him switched on to Kyoto?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then one thing led to another, and then he's like, "There's this coffee convention where this guy Kyoto Black, like Justin," and then that's where Justin and I met, and then so on and so forth. But other than that, it was just good times with good people.
Nice.
It was a good respite from work. I honestly didn't really think much about work. It was a good time.
That's good, man.
He rented it's called a VRBO, similar to Airbnb, but it's like a 5-bedroom villa.
Okay.
Each bedroom is outside and separate from each other. They all have their own bathrooms. But it just got us thinking, like, grab some family and friends and go, and it's a good time. And like,
that's great to hear.
It comes down to like $100 a head and like per day, and like they have their own heated pool, hot tub. It's like it's your own party, you know.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
it
was a good time.
You know, speaking of having good times with friends and family, it was my anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, so 9 years of marriage.
Okay, I was like, is it 10? I thought it was 9. Okay,
10 is the big one next year.
Yeah,
I can't believe I've been married this long. So crazy. But
how long together then?
12 years.
12. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my wife and I, with our daughter, went up to Madison, Wisconsin. We got a nice hotel right on the lake there, and we stopped by an apple orchard on the way up.
Cool.
Yeah, my daughter was very cute, like eating apples at the orchard and stuff, and just like, I was like, wow, I have a family. This is crazy, you know. Just kind of able to reflect on that and. Let my wife practice a little driving up there because she's learning how to drive in America. You know?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So she has never driven here.
Wow. And but she wants to.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. You know, she's from Japan and everything's a little different there. It's a little slower.
Sure.
And the cars are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So it's just more, she has more confidence in Japan, and people are also less aggressive drivers.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So
that honking is just like, it'll get to you, especially if you're not used to it.
So she finally got kind of comfortable enough to say, hey, I want to learn how to drive here. So
yeah,
we've been doing that, and she got some highway time on the way to
even Madison. Highway time.
Yeah, I actually fell asleep even, you know. It's like I was like, oh, I'm still alive. I woke up, you know. All right, perfect. Yeah. So, but yeah, we had the whole, you know, National Lampoon kind of experience as far as like running around trying to make everything happen, like you know, oh, we got to get it all done, and you know, go get this fish and you know, fish fry and
so you had a list.
Yeah, we had a list.
Good for you.
And you know, one thing that's really interesting about Madison is a lot of the businesses like bars are homes.
Oh
yeah, so like kind of like you were saying with Phil.
Yeah.
They actually put signage up in their lawn, and you know, run a full business out of like a house.
Yeah. Which
is something you can't do in Chicago. Unfortunately, I think it's awesome.
Like, do they have to go through like the local government to do that, or?
You know, it seemed that it was such a simple process because it was so ubiquitous. Like, my ex-boss Tony from Metropolis, he lives there, and we, you know, saw him while we were there.
Okay.
He was saying that there's like a huge kind of almost like a 1-to-1 ratio of homes to home businesses in Madison.
Okay.
Like half the homes you see are businesses.
Okay.
So I imagine it's a very straightforward, easy process to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to a bar that basically was a house that had just a bar built into it. It was really awesome.
Oh.
Yeah. So that I just was kind of blown away by that as a person who struggle for a long time to get a location here in Chicago. And what you have to deal with in terms of like building and permits and all this stuff, it's a nightmare. It's really unfriendly to small businesses. To see a place where it seems like it's just much easier. That kind of creates a little bit of a different culture, I think, where, you know, people are more encouraged to live off of their own profits rather than profits of a big, you know, established business. And I think that kind of changes the mindset a little bit, because I can tell you this much: working for my own money, I have not only a more of appreciation for just what a dollar can do, you know, but
how hard it is to earn it.
How hard it is to earn it and keep it, you know, because, you know, every dollar that comes in that door, you know, a third of it maybe go into your pocket, and then, you know, a third of that goes to the government. So it's like, you know, and then even more of that when you think about sales tax and everything, it's like.
And then when they force you to do like, or close down, or mask mandates, all that stuff.
All this stuff adds
more
up,
restrictions.
You know, or, you know, someone tries to sue you randomly. It's very hard.
Or like
so
limit the number of people in there, occupancy, all that stuff. It's hard.
And, you know, we were really well taken care of there. So I do kind of feel like that creates this sort of culture of hospitality, because everyone's trying to make it for themselves. Everybody just wants to get along.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like no one is like, oh.
They get it.
They get it.
Yeah.
Because they have to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Right.
We just take care of each other. No problems.
That's cool.
You know, and it's not like they're looking for a third party to kind of arbitrate things and tell everybody what to do.
They'll do it themselves. Yeah.
Just they'll do it themselves.
I don't think I've ever been to Madison.
It's pretty awesome.
Cool.
And you're right on the lake too.
Okay.
It's no Lake Michigan, but, you know, Lake Michigan is probably bigger than a lot of states.
Was the stay really nice too?
The stay was decent.
Okay.
I would say that the view is really awesome. I'm just like kind of spoiled because I was expecting like to have to get like, USB chargers and stuff like that. It's like an old school kind of hotel feel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's like a Hilton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it just didn't have like all the like latest bells and whistles that you know.
Yeah.
You kind of get spoiled on, but it was a decent stay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it, dude.
Yeah, we had a great time. I think next year for the 10th anniversary, we probably want to go to Okinawa.
Oh, okay.
So.
And never come back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Long-term goals.
Yeah. That's like the Hawaii of Japan. You know, it's beautiful. It's the greenest waters you'll ever see.
Greenest waters. Okay.
It's just pure emerald seas. It's incredible.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is it green?
I have no idea why it's green.
We went to a green sand beach, and that was from like, I think sediment from like, I forgot the name of it, but sediment from like a volcano.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the beach itself looks like a normal beach, but the water is just super duper green.
Oh.
It's incredibly beautiful.
Oh, cool.
And there's a lot of Brazilian food there. And
vice versa.
Okinawa.
I'm sure there's a lot of Japanese food in Brazil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Brazil has the largest population of Japanese people outside of Japan, so. Yeah.
That's wild.
It is. Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah, it's and when you were talking about space, Justin and his friend Lawrence helped me acquire my own space.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be running, like, for those that don't know, like, I'm an EMT instructor with another friend, Marty Walsh, and we acquired the space to continue teaching this class, but the space can now be utilized for anything. I get a lot of inspiration from Francis at Side Practice as far as hosting communal events and little seminars or whatever wants to occur, but I hope to continue hosting the podcast. I haven't done a podcast since Dila, and we still need Dila.
Yeah, we got to get Dila on there. Yeah, we got a bunch of things in the pipeline now because we took a month off and now we're back and.
That month flew by.
Yeah, a month really, really did fly by. I thought I had way more time than I did.
Yeah, but just like you were saying earlier, now that there's overhead and rent that you have to be responsible for, and this is without, and we'll have some employees as well, but they'll be 1099s. It's like you have that much more respect for other small business owners. Yeah, everyone's just trying to get their own and just trying to eat, and you just probably get a small percentage of whatever comes your way.
Yep.
I think it's a very romantic view. This reminds me of Canute, but romantic view to follow your passion, right? And, no matter what you end up doing, there will be very happy high times and then very difficult low times. But I think if you are working towards something that you genuinely enjoy, that'll help you get through.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you too, in this whole period that we've been living through of like all these mandates and uncertainty and all that, as funny as it is, like being a small business owner has been the most kind of comforting thing for me in a way, because I know that I can pivot, and if they tell me, oh, you have to close your doors, I can sell online.
Yeah.
If they told me like this, that, or the other, I can think myself how I can get around that and still survive and still keep my business going. Whereas a person who has to work for a company that makes these top-down decisions, they may get laid off.
Rules. Yeah,
you gotta follow,
or get laid off. Yeah,
you got to follow rules that are not of your own making, and all these different things. And that's the trade-off that comes with that security of getting that regular paycheck.
Absolutely.
So it's like it's whatever you are, kind of your constitution is. But my personal constitution is, I love liberty. I love sovereignty is what I love. The ability to take care of myself and to back that up too. I take care of myself, and I take care of my ability to take care of myself. And I don't ask people to do anything for me, So I just hope that they want to work with me, and if they don't, that's fine too.
Do you ever try to plan like a backup, or is this like, this is it and you kind of put your eggs in one basket?
Oh, I put my eggs in one basket.
I feel like that's like the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah, and I'm just like really watching the basket.
Okay.
Like, yeah, stay away from my basket.
Not necessarily coming up with a backup, but maybe like pivoting slightly.
It's just like I know what I'm really good at, and I know I can, because I've built a brand at this point, and that brand has so much value. Like the Kyoto Black name itself is worth a lot now, and because I tied my personal name to it, the Justin Doggett name is now worth a lot, compared to like what it was, 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
So, people automatically, a certain percentage of the population, when they hear my name, they automatically think of great coffee, and that's just invaluable because they're going to want to do business with me and, experience what I have to offer them. So.
Right. And so when you meet other people, is that in the back of your mind? Like what is this association going to mean for Justin Doggett or for Kyoto Black?
No.
Okay.
I just deal with people like on the up and up, like just like on what are they into, and what am I into, and like I don't biz dev people. Can
you elaborate what biz dev?
Like business development, like
okay.
Meeting with people specifically for business purposes.
Okay, good for you.
Like making personal connections based just solely on trying to generate business.
I gotta admit, I sometimes do that, and it feels manipulative.
It is what it is. I mean, it's very effective, but that's just not like how I roll. It's not even like I'm putting a value judgment on it.
Yeah.
It's just like I just don't roll that way. That's all. It's as simple as that. It's literally like, oh, why don't you put ketchup on your hot dog? It's like, oh, I don't like it. That's why. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I catch myself doing that, and then I if it's selfish, then I'll stop myself. But if there's like a mutual benefit to it, then I'll move forward with it. But this randomly popped in my head. Like this guy, his name's Scott. He's a teacher for CPS.
Oh, okay.
And I've talked to him a few times over Instagram, and like he's been a long time listener of Consciously Curious, and he's a fan of this show as well.
Nice.
But yeah, he stopped by yesterday. I was at a pop-up selling some pictures, and he stopped by, and I don't know what he looks like because he doesn't post his picture on his social media. But
is he kind of tall?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I spoke
tall,
to him.
white, bald.
Yeah, I spoke to
so
him.
nice though.
Yeah.
And he's just like, we need more people that kind of share insider stories from Chicago.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna keep going? Because you haven't done one in a while. I'm like, yeah, I want to keep going. So it just gave me some inspiration to keep going.
Yeah. I mean,
it.
If it's what you want to do, I think keep it up.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes disheartening to look at like numbers. Maybe if you just focus on numbers.
Oh, absolutely. It's a money suck. It's like I'm not making any money.
You're not making money off of it.
It's so I'm not. But there's still value in it,
there's
right?
Still value in it.
Like if you like recollect like all the things that came from the podcast, this show came from that podcast. Like a lot of my relationships that I hold dear to me right now, like stemmed from that podcast, and I'm lucky and grateful for that. So although, I don't put ads on there, or like I'm not making millions of dollars like Joe Rogan. It's just like there's so much inherent value and a non-monetary value that came from it.
Yeah, and it gives you a real easy way to kind of talk to people.
Oh, it's an excuse to get. It's an excuse to talk to people. I started it for selfish reasons because I didn't know what I wanted to do for work, and it was my excuse to talk to people from various industries.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, to speak on that conversation of biz deving people, if there's anything that I do feel like kind of doing, it's leveraging this show to kind of talk to people I otherwise probably wouldn't be able to, just to talk to them, not even because I want anything from them.
And it's cool that this show has evolved into like a tasting show, and I'm sure it can be evolve into even more than a tasting show. But I'm sure when we first started, we were like, a coffee show, like a cold brew show.
As much as I love coffee, I just didn't think a coffee show would make any sense for me. It's like, you know, I watch some people like Lance Hedrick on Instagram and YouTube, and he puts out just like fire content and goes really in depth on like all kinds of crazy stuff, like how to modify your grinders and how to pull like different types of modern espresso shots and stuff. And I'm just like, man, this guy is just like ridiculous in terms of his. And before that, he was a world champion level latte artist. You know, just like cream of the cream, top of the top. You know, all that. This guy just has like a level that's just like up there. I'm like, I don't know how he keeps talking about coffee this much. Like, I love coffee, but just, you know, I don't know. I mean, there are so many other things I would love to talk about. Maybe I don't know if a show would be appropriate for him, just because it's like, oh, I play a new card game, and you know, I'm like doing this, that, and the other, and it's like, to what extent do we just need to do our things and just do them and not even worry about like how much content we put out around those things? You know?
Don't get too caught up in that.
Because I do think that is a bit of a modern day trap of trying to live too publicly. You know, and it's like, if you look at like some of the most well-off, richest people in the world, they don't want to be known. They want to be kind of private, you know? And it's like, to what extent are we devaluing that privacy?
I guess it's something that you don't value your like privacy until you have it taken away.
Well, I think that you just, you definitely don't. But also too, I think we've been kind of, I don't want to say indoctrinated, but we've kind of accepted this proposition that you can leverage your own privacy for financial gain. Where it's like, you can put your kids out there and try to model them. You can, you know, put your personal life, like live on a vlog, and it's like, do you know, whatever. But I think there are people who do that with like, oh, I want to be famous, but they don't really know what fame is.
You know, no, don't do it. I mean, those are just like, don't work for the money, like work for something, like for an inherent, for something more than that. And the money will come. Right. So work for something more than that. And if fame is something you want as a byproduct, you'll probably get it too. But I think there's no inherent value in fame.
I mean, I juggle between this because, you know, I put my name on my business, and that was more so as like, I want people to know I'm putting my seal of approval on this. Like, this is me.
There's a small business vibe to it.
There's a small business vibe. And I wanted to make it very like bespoke, where it's like, this is being made, like it's literally being made by me. Like everything, I do everything. I did the logo, all that, you know. I'm filling the bottles myself, you know, everything, right? Versus like saying, oh, I want to make this as big as I possibly can and just put my name out there and become like, you know, super duper famous. Like, I'm kind of torn because I do want to grow the company, but it's not like I necessarily want to become more known. So it's like, I'm trying to balance that out myself.
You want more people to try good product.
I want more people to try good product, but I want my time to be for the people who I want to have in my life. You know, like we had this conversation about like having a cafe where like, you're like, creating a community space. And I was like, very much like, you know, kind of like, hey, nah, it's cool.
Right.
I don't want to necessarily be like that. I want to spend time with you and with my family, and, you know, like select those people.
I don't make it to side practice too often, but it seems like Francis has struck a good balance with spending his time. I mean, he's a new dad, right? So spending his time at home and trusting his team. And it's hard to find good team people, right? Good team members.
So tough.
But he trusts his team to open and close and things like that. So, you know, to each their own. There's a lot of value in how you operate, and then there's a lot of value in how Francis operates.
I think it's probably time for me to start to pivot more towards his style of things. Like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of having a team doing things, it's just, there's only so much I can do on my own. It's like,
I want to slowly move away from trading time for money, right? So we are in an age where you can leverage things. Whether that's selling a good or a service on the internet. Like, the internet allows us to leverage something. And so if you can find that something to leverage, then your decisions will have a greater impact. And you can start moving away from trading time for money.
I mean, that's why I do the product that I do in the first place, where it's like, I don't have to be open to sell my coffee. You know, I can just sell it online.
But you're still here, making it.
I'm still here making it.
right,
So now
right.
there's like another level.
delivering all that stuff. It's still part of it is I understand where you want to move away from it,
Right.
But it is very difficult to find people that you trust with your business, right? And Jake said the same thing with the family business. It's hard to trust other people emptying those like vacuum machines, right? Like
right, because they're just handling
thousands
money.
of dollars every day. It's tough. But
yeah, if that money disappeared, no one would even know.
Yeah.
It's like it's so tough. So that's why I do card only now. So we've probably gone on for a pretty long time at this point.
Yeah, it's almost 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. I'm just happy we were able to catch up.
Yeah.
Get back in the swing of things. We took a month off, and now we're back to doing the Sultan Slow Drip.
Can we share what to expect maybe coming up? Do we have anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we're gonna get Dila on eventually. I hope within a month we can get her on.
She's always working on something cool.
Yeah,
too.
she's super busy, so we'll get her on for some sake. I want to run back a cider episode because now that I know how to pour the cider properly, like people were just losing their minds.
What someone left a comment on one of the ciders, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be poured from a height. And you remember that weird looking stopper?
The red one, the rubber one, right?
It's supposed to be put back in the bottle and then used as a spout.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta.
Yeah, we totally screwed the pooch on that.
Okay, well, that's not intuitive though.
It's not, and I was kind of perturbed that they didn't have instructions on the bottle, but apparently you're supposed to pour it like.
No way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a show too.
It's a show.
That's cool. That's cool.
Because you notice how it's flat.
Yeah.
That agitates it and gives it its effervescence.
Sure.
So, and my buddy Adam.
Yeah.
Was like, no, that's not how.
Oh, he was the one. Oh,
he was on his computer like watching the episode.
That's hilarious.
Like, no, and he legit texted me at 1 a.m. He told me.
Thanks, Adam, for checking us out at 1 a.m.
He was like, I couldn't wait because I just wouldn't have been able to sleep.
Did you? And you had some other ciders that we wanted to get on.
Yeah,
we couldn't. Did you know where to get them?
I can get those now. So we'll get those in the pipeline. So those are the more immediate episodes.
Cool.
And hopefully we can do some more kind of seasonal stuff too. I want to do a feature on a pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Because their popsicles are like.
Yeah, Scott from yesterday, who came through here, he wants to try your pop.
Okay, I still have some left.
You have them here?
I still have some left. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I told him it's a all year thing, right? You told me it's not a seasonal thing.
Oh,
anymore?
it is a seasonal thing.
It is.
Yeah, so it's a seasonal flavor. So it's only during spring and summer so I do
get it while you can.
Collaboration with Pretty Good Ice Cream, and they do a Kyoto Black vegan pop with coconut milk and cold brew. It's super hot fire, and it's a seasonal thing. So they are switching into the autumn flavors now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I think I'm the only place you can get them now. I still have like a case of them.
Dude.
So yeah, there's like maybe 20 of them
guys.
left in the whole world. I can probably flip them now on eBay, right? But they told me that they'll bring them back on the menu in spring. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
Good
too,
to see you guys.
Good to see you guys too. Yeah, we're just happy to be doing this again. So
yeah,
thanks for tuning in.
Until next time.
Peace.